Oh, we certainly hope not. I think after a difficult start, Duffy bowling so well, to get back in the game with Ishan and Clarkson's partnership, and then Anakit to come in at the end. I mean, I think 200, maybe a couple of years ago, you think you're safe for 200, but I think we understand where the game's gone and how destructive that RCB batting lineup is, and you have to get a good start, which we did against Salt, but then I just think we weren't at our best with the ball. We weren't as disciplined as we needed to be, and we gave a lot of scoring opportunities to Virat and Parakal, who played exceptionally well. I thought the way his intent when he came out put us right back under pressure where we should have been able to maintain a little bit more after getting that important wicket of Salt. So it was a very good batting performance by RCB and one of our poorer bowling performances. I think that's exactly right. I think we learnt a lot from how RCB bowled and what was effective and what wasn't, and obviously we discussed that, but we just weren't able to implement that. And that's, you don't want to have a rusty performance because how important every game is in the IPL, particularly how to start. But today was one of our challenging bowling displays. You saw at the back end when we started to go back to our usual disciplines that we could actually be effective and take some wickets, but I think we just missed our lengths too much, and Duffy in particular showed the length to bowl on that surface. I think Padakal's innings, come in, hit first ball for 6, strike it over 200, take on all bowlers, allowed Virat to get into his innings even though he was striking quickly too. I thought the impetus that he showed when he came in was the real difference. Well, we haven't seen him in the nets because he just arrived yesterday. So with Cass's injury, that made it a challenge. Cass would have played if he was fit, but unfortunately he wasn't. So we put a lot of pressure on David after just turning up, but I think the fact that he's played 200-300 T20s and he's been effective in most countries that he's been, or every country. I think he was bowled exceptionally well for Perth Scorchers this year in the Big Bash, and his strengths are his ability to change pace, have a lot of variations, and he's also incredibly accurate. So like I said, we put him in a tough situation tonight to come in, but we just thought with the balance of the team we needed that bowling, and by the end of the day his figures were pretty good, and he showed that he can be effective even in these conditions where the wickets are really good. So I think with Pat coming back later in the tournament, Cass hopefully back soon, Payne, that gives us some good options. Ishan Malinga obviously some good options within our overseas fast bowling unit. Yeah, I mean, all I see is him receiving BCCI awards the whole time for his last year or so. He's been incredible in red and white ball cricket, and we were fortunate that we picked him up at the back end of last year because he probably could have been one of the big buys at the auction this season. But he's a clever bowler, and bowling spin here is not easy. It's a small ground and the surface is pretty challenging, and even for the likes of Krunal, who's such an experienced campaigner, it can be a challenge. So to see him come in today, understand what he needs to do, take an important wicket, there'll be a couple of things that he wants to improve on, but I think he's going to be a real asset for us this season. Well, I think we've got a lot of trust in our batting unit. You see Anakit coming in at 7 and being still able to be aggressive and put us in a position where we had a chance of a defendable total. So I think the fact that we don't expect Abby and Trav to do it every game, we expect them to win a couple of games a season, and we hand that off to all of the batting unit. So that top 7's incredibly impressive, and even after that tough start to get to 200 shows the calibre of that group. So I think they've just got a confidence that they can go out there and play that style, and they understand that we need big scores because of the nature of the IPL these days, that big scores are dominant and they're really important. So I think Clarkson was a really well managed innings. Ishan was able to play in a superb style, continue his form, and then Anakit was able to complement it. He got hit on the hand in the nets when he was batting, on his bowling hand, cleared of any break, but quite a lot of swelling. And he tried to push for the game, but it was difficult for him to hold the ball. So he's been improving, so we're hoping he's available for selection for Kolkata. Impact player for, I mean, it's changed the dynamic of a IPL game. It's makes selection a lot easier because you can feel like you can get that 6th bowler into the team. and generally that player does have an impact on the game. And it was obviously today for RCB, their use of impact was phenomenal, because Duffy had the greatest 7 overs I think I've seen on a cricket field, and then to walk off and hand it off to Patakal, who had a great day. So I think you'll see throughout the tournament that an impact player, when it's used in that manner and they can contribute to a large portion of the game, it can have a significant influence. Payne, yeah, today, I mean, like I said before, I thought he did a job. We asked a lot of him to come in after only being here 24 hours, but you saw him at the back end. He's a wicket taker. He's got a lot of skills, a lot of variations, and he's confident because he's played so much T20 cricket.